The earthquake and tsunami which hit Japan in March 2011 led to massive radioactive leaks. 6 months later, it turned out that twice as much radiation was released than initial estimates said. But October 2012, operator Tepco finally admitted it failed to implement safety improvements that led to the meltdown. Then a year ago, record radiation levels were found in local fish. It was revealed 3 months later that the cause was radioactive water leaking from a storage tank. Last August, Tepco confessed that around 300 tons of highly radioactive water had leaked from Fukushima since 2011. Let's now talk to Cristina Consolo, a researcher in the effects of nuclear incidents. Ms. Cristina Consolo, welcome to RT. So what's currently being done at the power plant to clean up the contamination? How efficient is the cleanup process right now?
Well, I think many of the things that they're doing at the Fukushima site are purely cosmetic to have the appearance that there is some kind of decommissioning going on. But the truth of the matter is, we have 3 melted cores that are underneath the plant. We don't know where because we've never seen any kind of ground penetrating radar or other indications of where those fuel cores may be. We have 1,000 to 4,000 tons of water that moves through the site daily because of the underground river that used to be on the site. And then we have the massive amount of water that's being poured and collected in tanks, and those tanks are failing. And so at some point, a decision is going to need to be made about what they're going to do with the water in those tanks, because the goal is to keep the workers on the site for as long as possible so that they can try to mitigate any problems that occur from failures in all of their systems.
So just to make it clear, how big a danger does Fukushima currently present?
Well, there's a huge danger if the workers have to evacuate the site. And for the last few months, we've been hearing from anonymous workers that they're detecting areas as high as 10 sieverts, but that's because their Geiger counters only go up to 10 sieverts. And of course, at 3 or 4 sieverts, you're in a bad situation. And so the danger is that the workers may not be able to continue being on site. And if that were to happen, the pouring would stop. The monitoring of the systems that they have in place now would stop. And then it would be, a slow slide into hell from that point on.
And how much time can it take before refugees can go back to their homes there?
I don't know that they can ever go back, but, according to the Japanese government, they're trying to move people back into some of those areas because they've done decontamination, which people who have worked on the decontamination process have stated, that it hasn't worked. And we know just from bomb testing that even hydrochloric acid doesn't remove radiation. So I think that those are, that is false information that's being perpetuated by the Japanese government in a way to try to assuage people's fears. And they just keep getting the same rhetoric that everything's okay. That it's at a low level.
The site of the latest leak, a holding tank near the damaged nuclear power plant 220 kilometres north of Tokyo. The plant's operators, Tepco, say the seepage was found late on Wednesday night when a worker noticed water discharging from the upper part of a tank. A valve had been left open by mistake, sending an overflow of contaminated water into a separate holding area.
Regarding the amount of water that has leaked at this point, we think that the amount that leaked out of the barrier is 100 tons. We're currently proceeding with recovery efforts. Also, the leakage itself has stopped.
From initial measurements, the water appears to be very radioactive. Radioactivity in liquids is measured in becquerels per litre. For this type of radiation, the legal limit for release into the ocean is 30 becquerels per litre. Reports suggest the leaked water is almost 8 million times this, measured at 230 million becquerels per litre. But Tepco says the radioactive water hasn't been discharged into the sea and says it's being held 700 metres from the ocean.
Regarding the extent and position of the leakage, as far as we have confirmed at this point, there is no drain nearby, and we have ascertained the position of the leakage. Also, the position is far from the ocean, and we think there has been no leakage into the ocean.
Tepco's been harshly criticised for its response to the 3 nuclear meltdowns, following the earthquake and tsunami that hit Japan in 2011. Since then, there have been a series of leaks from the facility. One of the most serious was in August when 300 tonnes of contaminated water was released. Just last week, Tepco was accused of delaying the release of data detailing the extent of radioactive poisoning in the groundwater. This latest mishap will again raise international alarm and new questions as to whether Tepco is doing enough to deal with the problem.